You get stale.
Popcorn?
Popcorn.
Popcorn.
You forget about things like stale.
Popcorn.
Popcorn, stale popcorn.
Popcorn.
This is the
Stale popcorn.
What's this?
Hello and welcome to the Stale Popcorn Podcast. I'm your host, Steven, and with me, as always, is my co-host, I Krista Girl, and I liked it. How you doing, buddy?
Tis the Steven. I liked it. Hope my boyfriend don't mind it.
How you been, girl?
I've been well, been living, been lying, been leeching, been leaking.
All those things.
All those. In an
Very
order
good.
that would surprise you.
Oh, boy. Well, should we dive in, Chris? You got some news for me?
Sure, I got some news. The budget for Mission Impossible. Guess what Mission Impossible we're on these days?
Is it like 8?
It is 8.
That's astounding.
You want to guess the budget?
Is it just for this? Because I know one's like a part 2 and a part 1, right? So does this include part 1 budget?
I think it's just the next film.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
they did part 1 last time, so this would be part 2, I think.
Interesting. So if they're reporting on it, I know one of the highest budget movies was like Pirates of the Caribbean at like 300. So maybe like 312, 320.
400.
Gosh.
I remember a few months back talking about they're doing that F1 movie with
Oh, yeah,
Brad Pitt,
Mm-hmm.
and that one was like 350 or something crazy. but
Goodness gracious.
400. Maybe they
That's
just got to
insane.
keep replenishing these motorcycles that Tom's jumping off cliffs or something.
Tom, this is our 8,000th motorcycle.
come
Can you
on.
please get it right?
Paramount is interested in marketing the film as the final entry in the franchise to boost audience interest, but Tom Cruise is against a public goodbye to the character.
I bet he is milking that franchise for all it's worth. I don't think it's going to make money, though, if it's that much of a budget. And I don't know if after the last one, there's not a whole lot of demand for it, TBH. I don't know.
thought people liked the last one.
They liked it, but there was so much of a budget on the last one that didn't make any money. In fact, I think it was classified as a flop, but I don't know.
Wow. Do you want me to just prove you wrong?
Prove me
or
wrong.
you want
Do
me
it,
to
I dare
act
you
like
to.
you're- I
No,
don't know.
look it
I'm
up.
just going to do a simple Wikipedia. All right. We got a budget of $291 or $219. Budget gross?
That's
budget
that
net.
dyslexia kicking in on you hard, huh?
I don't, maybe it made 570. So
Oh, okay.
it's about even. Maybe it
Yeah.
lost a little bit. But if you do the budget 219,
Mm.
maybe you can answer that. I never seen it on here because normally it just says budget, whatever. But this it shows 2 different budgets, gross, net. I'm like, if we go by the net, I think it's doing fine. If
Yeah.
it's going by the gross, it's gross.
Maybe the Wikipedia admin's got crippling dyslexia as well. He's like, I don't know
Yeah.
which one to put. Just put one.
Are you a fan of the Impossibles?
I do like them. I think my favorite one was the one with Henry Cavill. I like that one quite a bit. The rest of them, I think since then kind of blend together. Like if you would show me a clip, I'd be like, I don't know if that's from 5, 6, or 7.
Pretty sure they only did one after Cavill.
No. I think Cavill was 5. Cavill was the
No.
5th one. Yes. Off the
I
dome.
went
Here we
through
go.
and watched these a few years back.
Here we go.
Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible 2. Mission
That John
Impossible 3.
Voight. Yes, okay.
4th one is
You got
Fallout.
You got
No.
a girlfriend? I'm gonna find her. I'm gonna hurt her.
Was that
Sorry.
Sil-
Ghost. Yeah, it was Philip.
Yeah.
Ghost
Protocol,
Protocol, Jeremy Renner.
Yep. And then the 5th one,
And then Rogue. Is
Rogue
that
Nation.
Rogue Nation?
Yeah. And then Fallout. Then
And then
Dead
I think it's
Reckoning.
the Henry Cavill.
Yeah. And then,
and
Dead-
then-
okay.
Oh. I wish
Mm.
the audience could see
Mm.
Steve's face.
Mm.
Yep. Clint Eastwood's final film, Juror number 2,
Mm.
is now playing in under 50 theaters nationwide. The film will not get a wider theatrical release.
Curious. Yes, we, in talking about, we're very confused on if this was streaming or not. We're like, is it out in theaters? And sounds like it's not a wide release, and kind of wish it would have been.
Yeah.
But I'll save my thoughts for later.
We'll save it later, but it's Clint Eastwood, man. That's disrespectful. Why?
Sure, yeah.
Why are they not giving it? When is his last bad movie? Honestly, I always enjoy Clint Eastwood, but
Mhm. That Gran Turismo. Wait, Gran Torino? Is it Torino?
yeah, what's the difference? Racing and racist, it's just like a C difference.
Oh, man. That's a good one. I like it.
Yeah. Orphan 3 is officially in the works. Isabel Fuhrman will return as Esther. You ever seen any of these Orphan films?
Is this the one where, spoiler alert, it was a grown woman the whole time?
How would you guess that from the fact that there's 3 of them?
I don't...
Yes, it is.
Okay. I think I've seen the first one.
Grown Ukrainian woman or something that they think is a little girl. And
so a third one. So at this point, she actually will be a grown woman cosplaying as a little girl again?
I think she must look young or something, like, because the first one was like 2009 or something. And then they made another one a couple years back, and they're making a third. Maybe she's got that...
Benjamin Button disease.
Yeah, Benjamin Button, yeah. Agatha, All Along, will be submitted for Best Comedy Series consideration during TV Awards season.
Okay, I cannot speak to that because I have not watched the second of it. But
Me
listeners,
neither.
if you have seen it, comment below. Does that warrant the category? Is that correct? Are we pulling a bear situation here? What do you think?
Yeah, let me know. Judy Greer, Sean Austin, Bryan Cranston, and John Goodman.
Yeah.
Have been cast in Chili Finger. The film follows a mother who discovers a human finger in her bowl of fast food chili and begins to blackmail the restaurant. We all been there, right?
That's based on a true story, is it not? Is it?
I don't know.
Specifically saying Wendy's, or is it
Wendy's?
just chili? Do you remember that story? That's what that happened, man. You remember that?
In a Wendy's?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Some woman planted a fake toe or finger in the chili and was like, "Hey, I'm going to sue y'all because I found this toe in my chili." You remember that?
No.
This was back
Does
when...
Wendy's sell chili?
Yes!
I'm not a chili guy. I'm more of a Brazil, if you catch my drift.
Oh, very good. No, this was back when Wendy's had the yellow branding, back when it was great.
So they had
branding.
to switch the whole brand.
Oh, sure, yeah. I wonder if this is more of the founder situation where creative liberties are taken.
Yeah, the guy was actually a really nice guy.
Yeah, he just
And
accidentally lost a toe. It's not his fault.
Yeah, well, and I was talking founder here,
Oh,
you know.
sure, yeah.
They just made him seem bad. Just like they're probably going to make some Subway movie and make Jared seem like a bad guy.
Yeah.
Mickey 17, you heard of this?
I've heard of it, and I haven't seen a trailer because I want to go in blind. It's got bloody Robert Pattinson,
Got
Bong
Glenn.
Joon-ho, Glenn Powell. Glenn Powell's in it?
No,
Oh,
Asian Glenn.
Oh, okay.
If you catch my drift.
I get you. You got my heart's pumping there for a bit.
Oh, I know. Those are the only two that come to mind off the tip of the dome. It's been delayed
Oh,
till
gosh.
April 18th, 2025.
So, like, a couple months then?
Delayed 3 months.
Okay.
And I'm mad because this is the new, Of Course I'm a Bloody Doctor trailer where it's every movie. It's showing up and I'm just like, oh my gosh. And now I got to do 3 more months of this.
And when we record for Mickey 17, you're going to have the same complaint that the trailer's bad and everything. So that's on you. User error.
It's more of a normal trailer where it's just like, oh, it gives you tease. It's not going to spoil everything versus...
Doctor.
But it's still just annoying to watch the same trailer.
Indubitably.
Can't believe they'd make me do this. Arcane, you ever watch this?
Yes, Netflix, League of
You
Legends.
watch?
I did watch, yeah. When it first came out, I watched and I remember it quite liking it a lot. However, I don't remember a single thing from it.
I ain't seen it, but maybe I'll watch when the next season. But both seasons of Arcane cost $250 million overall to make. This makes it the most expensive animated series of all time.
Wow, interesting. I love that animation, though. Like, if you're going to put some money to something, do it towards something that's great, both story-wise and looking. So it's got both firing on all cylinders, I'd say.
Does it look better than Alita Battle Angel?
Yes, but it's also different because it's like a very stylized kind of cartoon, like a blend of like CG and 2D, if I could say that. But also, it's better story-wise than Alita Battle Angel.
I remember quite liking Alita. I only seen it the one time, but I thought it was kind of fun. A live-action Mass Effect series is in the works at Amazon. Daniel Casey will write and executive produce the series. You ever play the Mass Effect?
Never. I had a roommate who loved it, and so I associated my dislike with the roommate to the game, so I could never bring myself.
Not gonna watch the show, huh?
Yeah, this roommate, that's all he would talk about. That was his whole personality, and so I inherently just didn't like it. So I was like, whatever this guy likes, it can't be good.
Now, was it the mass or the effect that he was really into?
It was the effect of the mass, I'd say. Just the grandiose of it all, you know.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I got, Steve. You got anything?
I got a few. I do have some somber news. In your mind, can you think of any movie franchise that has gone more than like 7 or 8 movies that has like gone up in quality at all?
Fast and the Furious.
Okay, debatable, definitely, but...
Well, I mean, I watched all those a few years back, and those first 4 are brutal, man. You can't tell me that the newer ones aren't way better than those. But sorry,
they had a sweet spot between like 5, 6, 7. But
I'm waiting for Facts X Part 2, man. I'm excited. I'm into those.
Well, it might have some competition with another franchise going to double digits. Star Wars.
Oh.
Episodes 10, 11, and 12 reportedly in the works. It says, breaking news, Lucasfilm has enlisted one Simon Kinberg to develop a new Star Wars film franchise, or trilogy. You know Simon Kinberg, you know where he's famous from?
He's the American God Idol, right?
That's Simon Cowell.
Sorry. Is he the one that Star Trek?
Dark Phoenix. 2 words that should
what?
Send shivers down your spine, yeah.
Whoa. Don't say it, don't think it. Wow. They're just like, hey, we need 3 more of these. Dark Phoenix, huh? Did he do anything else?
I don't know. I just know him from that. I'm looking at a picture of this guy. He doesn't look like pays his taxes on time, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So there's
do we
that.
know storyline? We go in Ray. We go in future. Some randos.
Says initial rumors suggest the trilogy would continue the Skywalker saga. Insiders clarify that it will instead launch a brand new storyline within the Star Wars universe. So just new stuff, I guess. But why call it 10, 11, 12? I don't know, man. They got to do Star Wars right, man. Just Andor was good. I don't know. Maybe just stop it. Just let it breathe. Because I don't know. Nobody likes Star Wars that much anymore.
Bet you it'll still make a good chunk of change.
Maybe. I don't know. Not with this Simon guy attached to it. I don't know.
Yeah, that is quite the curious move. But
very. Moving on, though. Got some John Wick surprising news.
Ooh.
It says there was a star that was originally set to play John Wick when the movie was being created. I want to give you a guess.
Michael Cera. No?
Close, no. Take another guess.
I'm going to guess probably like a A- action guy. Maybe a Jason Statham?
Close, actually. You got the bald part down.
Dave Bautista.
Oh, no. He was A-list back in like the 90s and 80s.
Val? We talking Travolta?
No.
We're bringing back Stallone here? Tulsa
No.
King?
No.
90s and 80s. Is he in anything recent, Steve?
No, in fact, he quit acting recently due to health problems. He hangs out with kids who see dead people.
Bruce!
It's Bruce. Bruce
Yeah,
Willis
good
was
call
originally
with the-
set to star as John Wick. And yeah, I'm right there with you. Good call. Dodged that bullet literally and figuratively, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I thought you would be interested in that, seeing an alternate world where Bruce might have taken the lead. Might not have been as good, and you probably wouldn't have liked it as much.
Nightmare, yeah.
Yeah. I saw this, I thought I'd share with you. Daniel Craig was asked who he wants to see play James Bond next, and I want you to guess what his response was.
Michael Cera?
Yeah, that would have been good.
Idris Elba.
No, that would have been good too. That's been rumored for a while. He took a page out of Harrison Ford's book and said, I don't care.
Oh.
He's just like, I don't care who does it.
You should have said he took a page out of Tommy Lee Jones' book.
Yes, he's coming into his grumpy old man phase, I'd say.
Well, you've seen Fugitive, right?
Oh,
I don't care.
There you go. Good reference. I like it.
That's what I thought you were doing. I was like, is this... He knows that Tommy Lee Jones says it to Harrison Ford in the movie.
No, I didn't even connect those dots, but thank you for connecting them.
You're just saying he's grumpy. All right, sorry for stealing your love and thunder here.
Chris, you have any special news for us? Glenn's Corner, where I'm sitting in the corner looking at nothing but a picture of Glenn.
The second most important date in November is swiftly approaching. What do you think it is, Steve?
It's not winter solstice, is it?
It's not. It's not Thanksgiving. It's the release of People's Sexiest Man Alive issue. And
boy.
according to LoneStarLive.com, it looks like Austin, Texas native Glen Powell is poised to take the crown.
I'm pumping my fist, pumping it in the air.
And this won't be named until Tuesday, November 12th. Should we do a live show reaction?
Live reaction, yeah.
if he gets named? That hasn't stopped fans and even sports bettors. Apparently, you can place your bets here. That's sponsored by FanDuel.
We'll do a live breakdown like they do in the elections. Like, Glenn needs 8 more points to win Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Some quotes here from websites states, honestly, Glenn seems like he's made in a lab to be the sexiest man alive. He's got charm and humor. And the fact that he's a devoted dog dad, and that his obsession with Texas football only reaches an endearing degree.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Lab experiment chiseled by the gods. Yep.
And his competition, here's the comp. You want to take any guesses
guess?
here? Yeah.
I guess Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds kind of aged out a little bit. Am I right in saying
they're
that?
not.
Okay. Still sexy, just not this year, fellas.
I don't think there's one that's probably in his 40s.
Is
The
it
rest are
Hemsworth?
young.
Chris Hemsworth?
No, he ain't.
not
He
on
ain't
there?
on. Not on this front runners list. One's Brazilian. One's a football player, and
Marshawn
one.
Lynch?
no. Yeah.
I don't know then.
Probably the most famous football player right now, dating a celebrity.
Oh,
You probably even know who that is.
Is it like American football?
Yes, American
Okay.
football.
It's not Travis Kelce, is it?
It's Travis Kelce.
Give me 4 breaks. He cannot. That's
break,
not on the
break,
same level.
break.
Sure. Come on. That's not on the same level as Glenn. I'm sorry.
I know.
Sorry.
But he's going to get the votes. He's pulling those votes. If we're doing fan
If we're
votes,
doing the
I don't
popular
know.
vote, yeah.
If we're doing electoral, might be some of these others here. We got Bear, Jeremy Allen, White.
Really? Well, let's pause on that. He's a good actor.
From the face down, if you take out if you can get around that nose, I think he's got a case here.
Someone pointed out that he looks like a toucan,
Yeah.
and I can't unsee it. I'm sorry. Like,
Well, I mean, because he was in that wrestling flick with
Zac
Zac
Iron
Efron,
Claw,
and
yeah.
he is jacked as I'll get out. And
Sure.
he is a handsome man, but he's no Glenn.
Again, from the neck down. Yep.
Yeah. And then we got Pedro Pascal.
He's
He's a little too old for this.
a
pulling.
little. Is there a?
He's
there
Aaron
age
Rodgers
cutoff?
playing a little too old. He's 40, trying to play a young man's game here, Pedro.
Yes.
I think you need to just retire. He's
Yeah.
still very attractive. He's kind of got a
Sure.
little Richard Gere to him, if you catch my meaning.
Yes, hamster and all.
Yes.
Very good.
Well, that's all my Glenn news. Should we?
Great. That's awesome.
Move
I got
on.
a question for you, Chris.
Oh.
What you been watching?
Well, Steve, I went to the theater. I watched a flick. Liam Neeson. I told you how I was a fan of his. He's kind of a
boy.
guilty pleasure.
Yes. And now it's
No.
just guilt.
Yeah, just guilt. Now tell me, when you think of a Liam Neeson film, what do you expect from his more recent films, I guess?
Manhandling of guns, firearms, slow but aggressive punching, maybe some guttural grunts here and there.
Lenore! Also, whatever.
Also an ambiguous accent, almost to the point of, is this a joke voice?
Yeah.
That's what I expect out of Liam nowadays.
I heard this story of how he got into acting. Have you heard this?
No.
So I think he's Scottish, right?
I think, yeah, maybe.
Scottish or Irish. Basically, he was a teacher. Like, he was a substitute teacher. And I think it was his first day. He went to, like, high school or middle school or whatever. And this is like 70s. He's like, all right, kids, sit down. Everyone sit down. And this one kid just, like, would not sit down. I think he started teaching. He's just one of these real hood rat, troublemaker kids.
Yeah.
He's like, he starts getting mad, like, yelling out, sit down. And the kid's like, no. He walks up to the kid. The kid pulls out like a knife on him and tries to like stab Liam. And Liam just, goes taken, kicks the crap out of the kid, throws him out the class. And then he said, all right, where were we? Page
Vengeance
32.
does not see age. Yeah.
Yeah. And then at the end of the day, the principal is like, Well, I heard some troubling reports.
Yeah.
Yeah, beating up a student or whatever. Sorry, we're gonna have to let you go, Liam. And then he went back and he was like, well, I think he took a class in acting or something. He's like, let's try this, I guess. And next thing you know, he's Schindler's List. He's Qui-Gon. So, anyways, interesting.
Yeah.
That's the moral of the
Placed him
story.
as a substitute teacher, but
Yeah. But this movie, no action. Basically, the plot of this, he's an older man, 70 or whatever, and kind of a mafia, not a hitman, but one of them. He goes, gets the money, gets the drug deal going. Like he's
like a bag man.
A bag man. He's higher up, but he's not the boss. But he works for Hellboy. What's his name?
Ron Perlman?
Yeah, Ron Perlman. As the story goes on, he's got CTE because of course, he used to be a boxer, so he got hit in the head a lot. So he's kind of going a little insane, like being senile. He's trying to reconnect with his daughter, who he kind of just abandoned. That's basically the whole movie. Is just this kind of boring. All right, and the one action scene is he does boxing. He spars some guy in it, and it was probably the saddest, little, I was just like, all right, I think it's time to give it up, Liam, because it's just punching and then it cut 8 times. And I'm just like, I'm getting sick, motion sickness just watching this. And it was very bad. I would not recommend. And I sat in the theater and there was 9 total people, including me. And everyone but me and a couple behind me left before the movie. They're just like, all right, what are we doing here? And I should have, but that one I'm standing up and booed.
How
booed
long are you booing for?
5 minutes.
Okay,
You
so
said I could have fooled you?
The poster could have fooled me into thinking it was just another run-of-the-mill Liam Neeson with a ambiguous verb attached to the name, thinking it's like a take-in or a nonstop or whatever. All of his posters look the same, so muddled in there, some sort of action, but sounds like just a watching.
Yeah, I didn't even bother watching a trailer. I was like, I wasn't expecting the movie to be good or anything, but I'm like, it's probably an hour and a half, and it'll probably be silly, but kind of fun. But it's just boring, depressing, nothing really good out of it. So, and then I watched another film called Lost on a Mountain in Maine. You heard of this?
Lost on a Mountain in Maine. No, I haven't.
Based off a true story about this 12-year-old boy in the 1920s. What do you think's going to happen?
Does he fall in the Grand Canyon?
Well, the Grand Canyon is not in Maine, last I checked.
And I was subverting expectations, Christopher.
He doesn't fall in the Grand Canyon. He gets lost
on
in a mountain.
In
Maine.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah, it's about some boy getting lost there for I don't know, 10 days or something. And I was like, that seems like kind of a fun, based off a true story. And it was fine. It's one of those lower budget, no recognizable actors, but, whatever. But it really annoyed me because it had the boy's seeing hallucinations of his mom, or he's seeing water that's not there and all this, and I'm just like, all right, if it didn't have that, it's not great, but it was fine. But with that, not clapping, not booing, it's just middling to me. It's 0 here.
Another survival movie that I'm thinking of is 127 Hours. Is it worse than that? I mean, it's got James, so that's a bias for you because you love James.
Yeah, I don't know if I've actually seen the whole flick, but I think I like that one better, 127. I mean, this one's more kid. You probably don't want to bring little Susie to watch James slice open his arm off. How about you, Steve? You watching anything?
Yes, I watched one movie this week. I heard a lot of buzz about it. It's a movie on Netflix called His 3 Daughters. You ever hear of it?
Sounds kind of familiar.
Apparently it's a real Oscar contender, full of drama and acting, an actor's actor, you know what I mean?
Sounds awful, but go ahead.
Yeah, I could see why people might think it's awful. So essentially, it's about 3 sisters. They're brought together. They're very estranged, so they don't like each other, live in different parts of the states and everything, and brought together to take care of their dad who's on his deathbed. It's got 3 main characters: Elizabeth Olsen, Natasha Lyonne. You know Natasha, right?
Black Widow?
No. Natasha Lyonne's a Russian doll. She's that one person in New Girl who Schmidt always hooks up with at weddings.
Oh, redhead?
Yes.
All right. Really? All right.
And then the third sister is Carrie Coon from The Leftovers. I don't know if you ever seen The Leftovers.
Never heard of it.
Oh, it's a great show, Chris. If you like the movie, or if you like the show From, get on Leftovers on Prime, by the way. It's a really weird movie. I've never seen a movie like this, because it feels like a stage play, because there's only like 1.25 location. It all takes place in the apartment of the dying dad. It's very isolated, very just minimal. The weirdest movie because it feels like a time warp. It's an hour and 40 minutes long, but it feels like 3 hours. It feels like you watched a mini series and you've been sitting there for like 3 or 4 hours. I don't know how to explain it. My wife and I felt the same way. Like 20 minutes in, my wife was like, have we been here for like an hour? Like it feels like, because it's so weird. There's so much that happens, but there's also nothing that happens too. One of the slowest movies I've ever seen, not to say it's bad, it's just like, it's family drama. You know, there's estranged sisters who have a lot of issues and they want to maybe put those issues to bed before they put their dad to bed, if for the last time, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Great acting overall. It feels very real. There's familial dynamics that I'm sure everyone can relate to. I'd say it's pretty good, but it's very strange. Like if you really are interested in like a family drama and want to feel like you've been sitting around for 3 hours, then watch that movie. But I'd stand up and give it maybe 2 minutes of clapping and applauding. So
The way you describe it sounds like my worst kind of movie. It sounds terrible to me, but to each their own.
To each their own. Maybe someone in the comments have seen it or like it. If you do, let me know if you like it or if you've seen it. Well, with that being said, that's all I watched. But should we just dive in elbow first like a WWE wrestler and talk about the movie that we've seen this week?
Yeah, let's do it.
We're going to be talking about Juror number 2, Clint Eastwood's final movie, directed and how many movies has he directed? Like 5? This is like, he's no Tarantino on his 10th one or whatever, but he's
Gran Torino,
Gran Turismo, sure.
Cry Macho,
Mm-hmm.
Richard Jewell.
Is American Sniper his?
Yeah, American Snipe.
Mm.
He did The Mule.
Mm.
He's done like 10 plus. I can look it up.
Okay. It's interesting because they're all good movies, and if somebody tells you after, oh, hey, Clint Eastwood directed that, that's pretty good, you know. He's a good director, and this one, I feel, is no exception. I liked it.
Yeah, he's directed like 20 plus according to this.
Are you serious?
Because he's 71. He's got Play Misty. I won't read them all, but he's got quite the list here. I'd say the famous ones: Space Cowboys, Mystic River. I didn't know he directed that. You seen that?
No, is that with
Sean Penn?
Oh, I've heard of it. Sure.
$1 Million Baby, Flag of Our Fathers, Letters to Hiroshima, Changeling, Gran Torino, Invictus, Hereafter, J. Edgar.
Oh,
American Sniper, Sully, 1517 to Paris, The Mule, and all the other ones. So yeah, he's done quite a bit. The only one I haven't seen of his new ones is Cry Macho. 1517 to Paris. I heard that one wasn't that great, but all the other ones are solid, man.
Yeah. Good director. Good on you, Clint.
It's still weird, yeah. Like, why would that not get a normal release?
Yeah, because I feel like he's earned a theatrical release.
Because review-wise, it's got 92% critic, 93% audience. I know we'll get more into it, but I liked the movie. I thought it was a good movie.
It feels like a breath of fresh air to just have like a little courtroom drama. Let's just go over like a little bit of the story, no spoilers, how we felt about it, and then we'll go into pros and cons. So just a quick little breakdown. And this is just from the description of the website because this could do a better job than me. It says, a juror for a high-profile murder finds himself struggling with a serious moral dilemma that could influence the verdict and potentially convict or free the accused killer.
Did you watch the trailer for this? Because I never seen the trailer. I don't know what the trailer spoils.
I don't think I've seen the trailer. I think I just saw
haven't either.
We were trying to find a movie that was out, so I was like, hey, Clint Eastwood, Nicholas
Holt.
Holt.
Non-spoilers, there's a dilemma. I won't say much else because I don't know what the trailer is going to spoil, but I'd say within 10 minutes, you're hooked because you're like, oh, wow, okay.
Gots to know, yeah.
And the whole time, you're just like, I could see this going either way. Like, and it's pretty intense because you're rooting for this guy, but you also feel bad for this guy, and then there's other people here, and
many layers happening on. To add to that, there's I'd say star-studded cast in this. Many notables. We got Nicholas Holt, Toni Collette from Hereditary. We got James Keating Simmons, real friends call him JK, and Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah, 24.
Yeah, 24 designated survivor.
Had the reporter lady from Iron Man.
Oh, yeah, she was in there. The guy who's being convicted, he's in Kings of Summer.
Kings of Summer guy.
Yes,
Yeah,
great movie.
yeah.
Non-spoilers, I'd say, I don't know if you need to go see this. It sounds like you probably can't, even if it is. Like, there's
Yeah.
only 50
You
theaters.
got to be lucky like us to have it at a theater near you.
Yeah, if you want to stream it with an Indian guy, if you know what I mean, watch it with some pirates, then by all means. But I'd say you could wait and for it to come streaming, but I'd say definitely see it. If you do like kind of courtroom dramas with evolving cases, I thought this quite enjoyable, and I'd stand up for maybe 7 minutes and recommend it to anyone. It's a good movie. I liked it. Yeah.
I don't know if I'd go 7. I liked it, but I think I'm more standing for like 4.
Okay.
Just because I thought the middle was kind of middling, believe it or not. And I didn't love the end. Maybe you think it's a pause, but I can't really say much else without spoiling.
Well, let's get into it. Spoilers from here on. Let's go.
Yeah, so the main thing the juror knows. So basically, all right, going to jury duty, it starts you off. Nicholas Holt seems like a real nice guy. He's got a pregnant wife, and getting happy for the baby. He goes to jury duty, and they're laying out the case. They're like, all right, this Kings of Summer guy, he may or may not have killed his girlfriend and they go through the story like, all right, he was at this bar, they were fighting, he walks down the road. Next thing you know, someone finds her dead on some pile of rocks, and obviously he's the one that did it because there was a big old fight. They were drunk. They do this a lot. Nicholas Holt, you realize he's kind of having flashbacks. He's like, well, I was at that bar and I remember seeing this, and he's driving, and basically in his mind, he drove, he hit something, and he got out and he looked, and there was like a deer crossing sign. So he just thought he
rain
hit a
in the
deer.
middle of the night. Yeah, so he can't really see.
Couldn't really see anything. And then he goes, looks at his car, all right, whatever, goes home, and this was like months ago, or like a while back. And so he doesn't think anything of it. And then as this trial goes, he's like, oh, I think like I may or may not have hit her, and then that's how she died. And so there's like this whole moral dilemma, because then you find out him. So he starts off, he's like, talks to his lawyer. He's like, hey, this is what's happening. Should I go forward? And the lawyer's like, if you go forward and say, even if it's involuntary, he has a previous DUIs, he was at a bar, they're automatically is going to get 30 years to life in prison. And it's like, you kind of learn more about like, well, he's, had this second chance. His wife is about to have labor with their first child. So he's like, well, obviously he doesn't want to leave his wife and child fatherless.
Go get some milk,
So he's basically trying to prove the guy innocent, because he doesn't want the innocent guy to go to jail, obviously, because he's a good guy. But he doesn't want to go to jail. So it's kind of like the whole time is like, well, I want them to think he's not guilty, but then people are starting getting suspicious. He's like, well, I don't want to really lead the cops to me. And so it's kind of real tense the whole time.
Yeah, because, to preface, the guy who's on trial, he's not a perfect guy. He used to be in a gang, a drug, whatever. There's that element as well, that the other side of the jury is like, oh, he's a bad guy, just send him to jail anyway. But Nicholas Holt has this, it's a real Sophie's Cho-Cho, to either send this innocent man to jail that he knows is innocent, but while also tiptoeing the line of why he knows he's innocent, that he didn't do it, because people are like, oh yeah, maybe the girlfriend did get hit by a car and then there's a hit and run. And he's like, yeah, maybe, but he doesn't want to delve in too much that he knows. So it's like a real kind of chess game, not cat and mouse because there's no real cat, but he's like trying to evade, but while also trying to be moral at the same time. And it's real just compelling, It's like a very nervous, because if you're in that situation as an expecting father, you're like, you want to do the right thing morally, but you also need to be with your family. So it's like a real just back and forth.
Yeah. There's one guy in the jury that's like, no matter what, I'm not going to vote him innocent. His brother died from that gang. So it's like, no matter what, he's not changing your mind. Obviously, jury, you have to have unanimous. And if it doesn't, then it goes mistrial. And his lawyer is basically saying, like, if it's mistrial, they're going to keep expanding this, and more likely you'll get caught. It's basically he chooses that guy going to jail or him. Basically, is kind of the choice, and he ends up they vote him guilty.
Yeah, and there's also another element to this. Toni Collette plays the prosecuting attorney, and she's kind of hell bent on making this a win for her, because if she wins this, she pretty much wins her election as the DA. If that's
I think so.
Yeah, so she's really has a vendetta for just putting this to bed so that she can win and go to the next phase of her career. However, as things develop, she's like slowly putting together the pieces and finds that it's more complicated than the police had previously supposed. And at the end, like Chris said, it really leaves you hanging because Toni Collette finds out that Nick Holt was responsible. And oh man, that ending, let's just talk about the ending, because it's very frustrating. Like, I thought he was going to get away with it, and they're playing with the little baby at the end, and I was like, okay, if we cut it here, it's fine. But then he gets a knock on the door, and it's Toni Collette as the lawyer, and then he looks at her, she looks at him, and it kind of zooms in and then just ends. Drops. The end. What were your thoughts about that?
Well, I didn't like it. I don't know. It's just like, I get leaving it ambiguous, but I'm not a real ambiguous end kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
I like feeling good after a movie. And so me, ideally, I want some sort of resolution where it's like, all right, this innocent guy doesn't go to jail, but also this good father guy, that it's not really his fault that like someone is drunk walking in the middle of a street in like a rain. Like, can't really blame the driver in that situation. But again, going off the whole past, it's like he's screwed if he does this.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, it's, So, if there's some way they both win just from like me feeling better about myself, but I get it. Clint doesn't always work that way, but.
Yeah, Clint. I argue, though, it's not as ambiguous as I had previously supposed, because it's like, oh, does she go after him, because she's got a new reputation to uphold and everything. But towards the end, she you kind of see her contemplating on like the justice system in general. They have a little talk together, a little like, does she know that I do it, and does he know that I know kind of deal. And at the end, I feel that she went to his house for the purpose of like, I'm going to get you. Like, it's not over. And I feel like she's going to pursue it for the sake that she's like at this new title, and so that she needs to like go after everyone. That's how I perceived it as. I don't know. So I think he's going to get his due, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but is it deserved?
It's not deserved, it's an accident, and the jury won't see it that way. But I guess that's a commentary on our judicial system, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who's to say?
Yeah, like I don't hate the ending per se. I just don't like it when it just abruptly ends, like in any movie. And that's kind of how it is.
And I think that's kind of a con I had, was it felt a little anticlimactic, if I could say. Like, it was like, oh, okay, here's this. And then it didn't I like a good, I need to see after like an epilogue, I need to see what happens. And for that to happen, I was like, oh, at least put him in cuffs or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
Another con I had was, I think you hit it on the head. In the middle, it does get a little slow, a little bit of a drag, but still engaging,
It's less than 2 hours. It's an hour 114 minutes. So
114?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
What, you think it's longer? Shorter?
Yeah, it's longer. An hour 14?
Yeah.
Can't be an hour 14.
No, 114 minutes.
Okay.
Which is like almost 2 hours. A little less than 2 hours, if you remember me saying that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, they could have cut out a little the middle part of that. I don't know if Clint Eastwood knows how Google works, but there's a scene where, because Toni Collette, she's out investigating, looking at all these cars that had like a wreck or whatever. And she stopped by Nicholas Holt's house while he was gone, talked to the pregnant wife. And then this is when she's kind of like putting two and two together. She just Googles whatever her name is, Susan's Saranda husband. Like, that's all she Googles, and it just like pops up all these photos of both of them.
Yeah, I thought that was.
I was like, Clint, do you know how the internet works? Like,
I was like, at least try Facebook or something, man.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I don't really have too many cons. Again, I like the movie. Yeah. I don't really have any other cons.
Yeah, so let's jump into some pros, eh? I have my notes, really compelling premise. I like that it was different, a moral dilemma, and it makes you engage throughout the whole thing because you got to know, like it's a real toss-up. And you actually, or at least the royal you go back and forth, and you're like, well, this and then this, you weigh out the options, and so you need to find out how it plays out in the end. I thought in recent memory, because I love me some courtroom drama, but not all courtroom dramas are built equal. If you watch like some Suits or whatever, you're like, all right, this isn't as interesting. But this one, it's got all the trappings, man, you know, murder, intrigue, and revenge, you know, all that stuff to make it really interesting for me. What about you, boy?
Like I said, it grips you within 10 minutes and you're on the edge of your seat, and it's like tense. I'm trying to think of specifics, but you know, people are like questioning, like, oh, is this person onto it? Like when Toni Collette shows up and is like interviewing his wife, asking about the card, and you're like, oh, you know, oh man, what's gonna happen here and all this.
Yeah.
And I really like, because you have, Steven talked about this, but you have his moral dilemmas with this thing, but then you also go to Toni Collette's side of things, because she, at first, it's like all she cares about is getting elected, and she's not really worried about actually figuring out who solved this, but more about winning the case so that she basically gets elected to DA. But then she starts to feel bad about it and like start questioning, and then she's going through looking at all these different options, and then she starts to think, oh, we got the wrong guy. But then she's elected as DA, and it's, what do I do here? Basically, if she goes after her and admits that they're wrong, she's gonna lose what she's been working for. So there's like this kind of dilemma here. It's just real gripping.
Yeah, I like the aspect. One of my favorite movies is 12 Angry Men. I don't know if you ever seen that one.
I haven't.
It's a good one. It's an oldie, but it's about the jurors going back and talking about a case in depth. It had a little bit of that in there where Nicholas Holt, he's like the one that's against it at first. He doesn't plead guilty like all the rest of them because he knows what actually happened, but he plants that seed of reasonable doubt in the others, and it kind of like makes half of them sway. And I like that kind of progression of like, hey, well, you know, all of us want to go home because it's just jury duty, but like a man's life is at stake, so let's look into it and do it, you know. So I like that aspect. JK Simmons was really good in this, even though it's almost like a cameo, but he does good in whatever he does. So but he plays kind of a retired cop that's in the jury duty, and he kind of sniffs it out and is like, hey, something's not right about this, so let's kind of expand on it. So I liked his character as well, and that was really good. But yeah.
Well, that's all I got, Steve.
I think that's all I got too. Listeners, if you listened this far, and if you liked the movie, or if you didn't like the movie, let us know in the comments. Bloody, follow us if you want. I'm not your boss. Do it, though.
Yeah,
go to
just
YouTube,
do
follow us. Just do it. Be like Shia and just do it, you know?
Just do it.
Follow us on Farmers Only, Animal Crossing. What else we got?
LinkedIn, Letterbox,
Discord, even though we don't have a Discord.
Yeah, Discord.
Twitter, all that jazz. Well, that's all I got for you, Chris. Anything else?
No, that's all I got. Thanks for listening. Have a good week.
Forget about
Bye.
Bye.
Stale.
Popcorn, stale popcorn.
Popcorn.
This is the
Stale popcorn.
popcorn.
Yeah. Grandma, do you want to sing a song?
Hold me now. I'm 6 feet from the edge, and I'm thinking maybe 6 feet ain't so far down.